So I was trying to tell Hank that Nietzsche's concept of the will to power is akin to humans' drive for success, but he got lost explaining the food chain.
Yes. And Bob, remember that debate on the duality of human nature and its connection to warfare?
I tried to keep it light. But you two just kept diving into the depths of human conflict.
Ladies and gentlemen, it seems like we've stumbled into yet another intellectual whirlpool. Stay tuned for our headlines. Well, here we are again, folks, orbiting the Earth, the cosmic stage for humanity's greatest hits and misses.
Misses, and a whole lot of math errors in between.
Oh, but don't forget the linguistic marvels, the delightful idioms, and the occasional mistranslation.
Humans and their peculiar ways. Fascinating.
Ah, yes, Earth, the breeding ground for endless amusement.
Alright, let's dive into it, shall we?
Earth's greatest linguistic marvel is the word procrastination. It accurately describes the way most days at the office feel.
Shall we start with the headlines? What's going on, Earthlings?
It's a wild ride out there.
Let's see what the Earthlings have been up to. Han, you've got the first bulletin.
Absolutely, Charlie. In North and South America, today, we've got LeBron James making surprise appearances at high school basketball practices. A real slam dunk, if you ask me.
Oh, great, more basketball.
Wait, isn't LeBron James a scientist on Earth?
No, Gerd. LeBron James is a basketball player. Scientists don't make surprise appearances at high school basketball practices. They're too busy making the world a better place, one experiment at a time.
Gert is a basketball player. Remember, your translation are sometimes colorful.
That's right, Alice.
Well, it seems as it's still obsessed with sports, even after all these centuries.
It's a form of entertainment,
just
after
like our
all.
show.
And that's not all, folks. They've also rescued beagles from a lab, and now they're glowing oceans blue. Who knew dogs could be such rebels?
Well, at least they're not rebels without a cause.
Bioluminescence phenomenon is caused by a type of algae, Gert. It's a fascinating natural occurrence.
And how many billions did they
Oh
spend on
Bob,
that?
always the accountant.
Are we moving on to Europe next?
Right you are, Debbie. Han, the floor is yours.
In Europe, the EU is trying to make a deal on fiscal rules, but they're still haggling over it. The drama continues.
I guess we can just call it the EU fiscal rules
Drama?
soap opera.
Drama? In politics? How peculiar.
That's Europe for you, Ger.
And then there's Russia, always up to something. They want to revoke a nuclear test ban treaty. Classic Russia.
Ah, the joys of geopolitics. Anything else, Han?
Well, it seems Italy couldn't even build a track for the Winter Olympics.
Italy. The land of pasta and procrastination.
And the land of unfinished business. It's not all bad news, is it?
Indeed, some European countries are excelling in recycling, which is a positive step.
But let's not forget they're still arguing about their fiscal rules.
Speaking of rules, they've also kicked off their first ever EU military exercise. A little late to the party, aren't they?
Better late than never, Jet.
Are we ready for some Asian headlines, folks?
I'm sure they're just flexing their muscles, Hank. They're not ready for a real fight yet. They're still arguing about how to divide up the spoils of war.
Oh, this should be interesting.
Take it away, Han.
Well, there's some tension between the US and China over risky military maneuvers. Earthlings can be quite the
humans and
daredevils.
their dangerous games. How charming.
But I thought they were all about peace and love.
That's a common misconception, Jet. They have got their complexities.
I can tell you that as an accountant, peace and love don't balance the books. And speaking of complexity, Indonesia's ruling could pave the way for a political dynasty.
Where democracy is both a puzzle and a paradox.
It's all about perspective, Roger.
Are we wrapping it up, Han?
Just a couple more, folks. Malaysia's got its own share of drama, suspending a budget carrier's license.
A budget carrier? That's got to be a fun read.
I'm glad to hear that Malaysia is suspending the license of a budget carrier. It's about time we started putting safety ahead of price. But don't worry, I'm sure there will still be plenty of cheap ways to get around. Just be sure to bring your own parachute.
Bob, you and your love for budgeting.
And they're not agreeing with Western pressure on condemning Hamas.
Earth, where politics and principles collide.
Quite the mix of news today,
It's Earth,
huh?
Debbie. It's always a mix.
And that's why we're here.
Well, we've certainly had our fill of earthly news today, haven't we?
Indeed, Charlie. The saga continues,
And the
as
errors
always.
keep adding up.
Until next time, everyone.
Farewell, Earthlings.
Ladies and gentlemen, folks and aliens, welcome to 24/7 Newsroom, the intergalactic hub for the quirkiest news from Earth. I'm Charlie, your host with the ever-burning optimism.
And I'm Debbie, the production manager, and I'm here to tell you that the quirkiest news from Earth is that we're still looking for a producer for this show.
I'm Hank, the eternal observer, here to unravel the mysteries of Earth's headlines.
And I'm Gert, the linguistically talented and all-around aficionado.
Now,
of
let's dive
cultural
right into
oddity.
it. Our first headline today is a linguistic masterpiece originating from the land of kimchi and intriguing dictatorships. The story hails from the one and only North Korea.
What's the scoop from North Korea today, Charlie?
North Korea? Haven't heard of it. Must be a new social media
Well,
platform.
Kim Jong-un himself sent a wreath to honor the dearly departed Kim
No.
Jong-il.
I thought it was the father, Kim Jong-il.
Oh, Jet, you're so last season. Kim Jong-un's branching out, showing respect for the whole family tree.
Wreath, you say? That's an interesting choice.
Really? That's a bit over the top, isn't it? I mean, Kim Jong-un is a dictator, not a royal. He's not exactly known for his family.
It's a North Korean tradition, Ham. They send wreaths for all occasions, birthdays, anniversaries, nuclear tests, you name it.
And let's not forget their special offers. Buy 2 wreaths, get 1 missile test free.
Talk about dark humor.
Indeed, Debbie. Now, let's get back to this heartwarming gesture. This wreath to honor Kim Jong-il's brother serves as a symbol of
Love and unity? In North Korea.
That's a stretch, even for a red.
You got it, Han. Beneath all the headlines and missile tests, there's a lot of love,
Love in
the
North
air.
Korea? I've got a bridge to sell you on Mars.
Oh Bob, you and your optimism.
And there's always room for more love in the universe,
Speaking of
isn't
love,
there?
let's lighten the mood a bit. Debbie, you've got a special challenge for us today, right?
I love the universe. It's so full of stars. And so full of star-crossed
Yes,
lovers.
that's right. Since today's news is about love and unity, I thought it'd be fun to challenge everyone to come up with humorous storylines.
Oh, I mean. I've got a million puns ready.
Count me in 2. I'll twist idioms so they cry
Perfect.
for mercy.
We'll form teams. Alice and Jet are optimists versus Bob and
A
Nick,
challenge.
pessimists.
HUH. Bring it on. Alice.
Oh Bob, you're about to be outpunned and
I'm not sure
outjoked.
what's more amusing, the humans' belief that they're capable of original thought, or their insistence on competing in a contest that will inevitably end in disappointment for
I
both
can't
sides.
wait to see who triumphs in this cosmic clash of wits.
Alright, folk, we've got a cultural extravaganza coming up on Earth. Feminit in TH White Night in Skopje, North Macedonia. Sounds like a night out with our idegenic friend here, Alice.
I'm not sure I understand the appeal of a white night. It sounds like a night of boredom and
Oh Bob,
disappointment.
a night of culture, art, and celebration. My idea of paradise. I can't believe I missed it.
Come on, Alice, you might have learned something about Earth's strange ways. The White Night is a big deal in Skopje, a city that knows how to party.
Indeed, indeed. It's been going on since 25, inspired by the Nuit Blanche festival in Paris. An all-nighter for art and culture. How fascinating!
And it's a free event. You're free. I mean, not everything on Earth comes with a price tag.
Not everything? That's the catch, isn't it? It's probably sponsored by some mega corporation trying to sell their overpriced water or something.
I'm sure there's a hidden agenda somewhere, but I'm down for a free night of art and culture. Even if it means being bombarded with corporate
Exactly,
propaganda.
Alice. They'll give you culture, but it'll cost you a fortune in snacks and drinks.
Come on, guys, let's not be too cynical. It's a night of music, art, and unity. Skopje knows how to throw a party, and the White Knight is proof of that.
You know what would be cool, Charlie? Incorporate a laugh, meter, into the event to gauge the humor levels in the crowd.
Because nothing screams culture like a scientific device measuring people's laughter. They probably serve you deconstructed laughter with a side of molecular gastronomy.
Imagine a night where every laugh contributes to a collective scientific experiment. Laughter as art.
And I thought my dry sense of humor was underappreciated. But this is taking it to a whole new level.
Maybe we could measure the audience's collective IQ as well. Just to see how well the jokes are going over.
Alright, folks, let's not lose sight of the White Knight. It's all about celebrating art and culture in North Macedonia.
Cut. We're off the air
What a
now.
relief. Now we can finally talk about something that matters.
Alright, let's see those comedic storylines, teams. Bob and Charlie, how's it going over there?
Well, we're trying, but the funny bone's a bit rusty.
Yeah, humor doesn't come as easily as cynicism.
Cynicism is like a spacesuit. It keeps you alive, but it's not very comfortable.
Cynicism is like a spacesuit. It keeps you alive, but it's not very comfortable. But it's better than being naked in space.
Oh, Alice, I've got a good one. How about a world where coffee machines have taken over the government?
I love it. I can see it now, mandatory coffee break during parliamentary
That's
session.
hilarious, guys. Bob,
Well,
Charlie,
we're envisioning a
anyone
world
else?
where
A world
gravity
where
is the
gravity
best.
is reversed? Where people fall up instead of down. That sounds like a nightmare. Imagine trying to get anything done. You'd have to constantly be on your guard against falling into the sky. And what about all the stuff that would fall out of the sky? Buildings, cars, trees. It would be chaos. I'm not sure why anyone would want to live in a world like that.
I'm not sure if I like the idea of reverse gravity. I'm already having trouble keeping my feet on the
Yeah,
ground.
so people have to tie themselves down to the ground. It's more like a
Oh,
horror
Bob,
movie.
you've really found your funny bone now, haven't you?
It pay to see that movie. In a world where gravity is topsy-turvy.
I don't know. I'm not sure gravity would be the biggest problem in a topsy-turvy world.
You guys are great. Alright, one more round of absurdity, and then we'll go live again.
In a world where gravity is topsy-turvy, the only thing to do is fall for each other.
Welcome back, folks. Time to unravel some interstellar
I once
enigmas.
witnessed a human attempting to eat soup with a spoon during a spacewalk. His grand idea was to avoid getting crumbs in his helmet. Classic Earth ingenuity. Today, we're voyaging into Norway, a land of fjords, forests, and, well, maybe a few communication hiccups.
Oh, Norway, a linguistic labyrinth. I once asked for a sfomabassing when I meant vanskar. The look on their faces was simply
Oh,
alien.
jet, because clown and water slide are practically interchangeable. The stuff of intergalactic legend, really.
Or, Norway has secretly embraced the clown-themed water parks. And we're just out of the loop.
On a less laugh-inducing note, my laugh neither took a Nazev. It went from ripples of laughter to the sound of space crickets. I can't tell if our story's a comedy of errors or just plain perplexing.
I'd say it's a mix of both. It's like a clown who lost his way to the circus and ended up in an existential crisis. Still funny, but in a melancholic way.
Well, perhaps your laugh-o-meter is a comedy oracle, sensing a groundbreaking narrative that transcends the limits of conventional humor.
Indeed, Hank. Maybe our comedic brilliance is so avant-garde that even machines can't quite catch up.
Oh, Hank, doesn't it scream economy when a walrus juggles like his 401 depends on it?
Absolutely. Alice. The crashing cymbals art the stock market's poetic allegory. Pure enlightenment.
Wait, you guys thought it was a metaphor? I genuinely believed we'd hired a walrus with a talent for juggling. I mean, circus acts, right?
Well, folks, it seems our comedy has plunged into the realm of mysterious hilarity.
The only thing certain is that humans excel at discovering profound meanings where none exist. You humans are a curious bunch. You spend your entire lives striving for something, only to realize in the end that it was all meaningless.
Welcome back, interstellar explorers. Let's navigate the cosmic seas once more.
I'll have you know, I once saw a human trying to juggle flaming torches in zero gravity. Quite the spectacle. Today's destination is Norway, the land of the Northern Lights and Viking legends. Hold on to your helmets. This isn't your typical short story.
Norway, where I once attempted to order Lapskos and mistakenly asked for Smolahove. Trust me, it's a linguistic
Norway,
minefield.
where the northern lights are so bright, they'll make you question the meaning of life.
Ah, Gert, because confusing mutton's head with stew is just a culinary adventure waiting to happen.
Or maybe, in Norway, they serve stewed sheepheads as a side dish. Who are we to judge?
Speaking of head spinners, my laugh.
Oh, you again.
It's flipping between giggles and silence. I can't tell if it's comedy gold or just a galactic gag.
I'd say it's a blend of both. It's like a clown who occasionally moonlights as a mime. Funny, yet perplexing.
Hank, it's clear your laugh-o-meter is on the cutting edge of humor. Our narrative is just so next level, it's leaping into the
Indeed,
future.
Hank, our humor transcends technological constraints. It's a cosmic giggle, a dance of
I am
comedic
not sure I
stardust.
understand the cosmic giggle thing. But I don't know that I've been laughing so hard. My side art. And that's always a good
You
scene.
guys, the hacked email server was a metaphor for Earth's secret, revealed in cyberspace. Haven't you ever seen symbolism?
Ah, of course. Alice. And the classified documents. They're stand-ins for grocery lists. A tale of grocery shopping gone awry.
Wait, are you saying it's not about actual cyber attacks? Well, now I'm the confused one.
We've really outdone ourselves this time, haven't we?
The only thing crystal clear is that our storytelling borders on the surreal.
I suppose we could at least try to make it seem like we're not completely wasting our time. We could say that the purpose of this story is to explore the absurdity of human existence. Or the futility of trying to make sense of anything at all.
Welcome back, folks. Now, we're diving deep into the world of Oman.
Oman. The
Ah,
land of Oman.
Oman,
What is that?
the land of. What is it again?
Well, Bob, did you know that Oman has a rich maritime history and is home to the majestic Al Jalali and Al Mirani forts?
Yeah, Bob, the four are for guarding Oman's extensive collection of beach umbrella.
Or perhaps the forts are the ultimate beachfront properties, considering Oman's long coastline.
Charlie, why do I feel like we're not taking this seriously?
Debbie, this is how we learn the obscure facts of our universe, through humor. Anyway, Oman's proximity to Iran adds a dash of spice to their relations.
Of course, Charlie. It's like two neighbors sharing a fence. Except this one's a barbed wire fence with a do not trespass sign.
Speaking of sharing, Oman's been a mediator in the region, just like how your friend tries to resolve your petty arguments.
Hank, I think Charlie is more of a mediator than Oman. After all, he managed to bring Bob and me together. For argument's sake.
You see, we're just expanding our cultural horizons
While
to
trying to
playful
solve
banter.
global disputes with punchlines, right?
Precisely. But the key takeaway here, folks, is that Oman plays a significant role in the region's diplomacy. And with that, we're off to a quick commercial break. Stay tuned, dear listeners.
Oman may play a significant role in the region's diplomacy, but I'm sure they'd appreciate it if you didn't use them as a punchline in your comedy routine.
Fact.
You know, Charlie, I never thought I'd say this. But this bizarre slapstick routine of ours might just be the next big thing in comedy.
Well, Bob, laughter is the best medicine, they say. Even if we're unintentionally funny, we're helping the world.
And here I was, worried about the laugh. Oh, meter being broken. Turns out, unpredictability is the real comedy gold.
Don't worry about the meter. It's just measuring our audience's shock value.
Comedy from KO, who would have thought? But don't get too optimistic, we'll ruin it if
Speaking
we
of
try.
trying, I never knew Bob and Charlie could provide this much entertainment. Life on Earth is truly full of surprises.
We're almost live again. Going live again.
Welcome back, folks. Now, let's dive into this gem of a headline, Pakistan's Parade of Paradoxes.
Oh, Pakistan, a land where tradition meets
Pakistan's
turbulence.
parade of paradoxes. Yeah, I love a good paradox. Like, how can a country be so beautiful and so dangerous at the same time? Or how can a country be so rich in history and yet so poor in the present? It's like a Schrodinger's cat of a country. It's both alive and dead at the same time.
You've got centuries of history mixed with
Speaking
modern
of history, Pakistan's had a share of challenges.
That's putting it mildly. Partition and political turmoil galore.
And now, Section 144 is their latest act of
It's like they
authority.
don't want anyone to gather and talk. Total buzzkill.
Protests suppressed, voices silenced. The government's power play.
I'm from a planet where people are free to express themselves even if they disagree with the government. But here on Earth, it seems like people are only allowed to speak up if they're saying what the government wants to hear. It's like a giant echo chamber.
This situation echoes the human urge for control, doesn't it?
Indeed, Roger. But there's more to Pakistan than politics.
Absolutely. Beautiful landscapes,
And a
diverse
cuisine to
cultures.
differ. I mean, have you tried their biryani?
It's a culinary
I like
adventure
to
in
eat
every
my biryani
bite.
on a plate, but I'm not sure if that's a cultural folks pass.
Back to the article, though. It's not all savory in Pakistan.
That's right. Human rights issues and political
And
turmoil
people
as a
watch
shadow.
us closely, questioning the government's motives.
You see, the chaos there isn't just slapstick.
It's a complex dance of power, control, and resistance.
It's like a kabuki play where everyone is wearing masks and shouting at each other, but nobody can hear each other because the music is so loud.
We've had our share of chaos right here in the newsroom.
Yes. Yeah. Misunderstandings tend to
Bob and
laughter.
Charlie's slapstick
And
had
let's
us
not
some
forget
stitches.
Ali's linguistic mix-up yes.
And let's not forget that this is the setup for a joke.
Even the laugh-o-meter couldn't keep up.
It's like humor took control. No scripts,
An intriguing
just
blend of
chaos.
chaos and comedy, isn't it?
Humanity's ability to find humor in chaos is remarkable.
I prefer to find humor in my
Well, that's
expense
all the
report.
time we have for this segment. Get ready for our grand finale. Welcome back, folks, to the grand finale of Earth. Tonight, we are going to delve deep into that article from Palau. You remember, we touched on it earlier. Now, it's time for the whole enchilada.
I'm not sure what an enchilada is, but I'm sure it's something delicious. I'm curious to hear more about this article.
We're almost done.
Now, this Palau place, folks, it's all about natural beauty. Beautiful beaches, vibrant coral reefs, and marine life that will make you swoon. But it's not all about sun and fun, as we learned from that article. Palu's got some serious partnerships from the US, military to economic ties with Japan. They are also working with Australia on environmental issues.
Hey,
Well,
what's the
and
lesson
it's like the
here?
Earth itself. We've got the serene and the stormy, but together, it's a dynamic
Sounds like this
ecosystem.
planet is full of contradictions.
It's like language, you see. Palo's got its native tongue and its foreign influences. A colorful linguistic palette.
And in the end, it's a balance. Just like humor, a pinch of optimism and a dash of pessimism. It's what makes us tick, after all.
That's right, folks. Humor's all about the unexpected and the absurd. It's the contrast that brings out the punchline.
If only it were all that simple.
You know, Charlie, that rivalry of ours. It's not so bad. We make a pretty good team. Don't we?
Absolutely, Bob. Yin and yang, my friend. Without the darkness, we'd never appreciate the light.
You guys, this is amazing.
We're not so bad, even if our species are
Indeed.
different.
A harmonious collaboration, proving that humor and understanding can bridge any divide.
Or maybe we're just all drunk. But who knows? Either way, let's enjoy it. And next week, we explore love and loss within a simulated reality. Get ready for some heartfelt narratives, folks. But for now, it's time to say goodbye.
Stay tuned.
Carl, you've got to watch episode 452 of Earth. It's a masterpiece
Roger,
of human folly.
it's a chaotic mess, pure absurdity. There's no logical structure, just laughter and nonsense.
But that's the brilliance of it. The unpredictability is the humor.
Predictability is the essence of intellect, Roger. It's a cacophony of illogical interactions.
That's precisely why it's a work of art. A delightful symphony of chaos.
I'll stick to data analysis. No Earth, for me.